And welcome to the Drive to Draw podcast, mate. Once again, Phil Fickness joining me here in the studio, and we've gone the long intro off the long run up again. Mate, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, mate.
Tonight.
Good to be here.
A little bit warm on Wednesday, so we've had to sort of push things to a Thursday night. It's
all good.
Little bit friendlier outside at the moment. Mate, how'd you go on the weekend? And did you enjoy your Wednesday off?
Wednesday off was good. Yeah, had plenty to do. Saturday got carried by the rest. Lost on the last bowl of the day, basically. Yes. Never see that bowl again, I don't think. But anyway, that was the way it was. Went down by a couple. Team got up by one or two. 2 rinks up, 2 rinks down. So, yeah, it was good effort at Tranmere.
Excellent. I haven't asked, but you guys in finals contention?
Sitting second
Beautiful.
After Saturday, so which is good. Yeah, looking good.
Absolutely. All right, mate, let's get into Around the Greens.
Around the Greens.
All right, we did have an interview lined up tonight, but that's actually been pushed to next week, which probably works out really well with everything that's going on at the moment. You've got to go pick up someone pretty quickly. So we're going to roll through tonight's episode, and let's get started with the Premier League.
Premier League. I've got to read in Braille here tonight, Pete. Left the glasses on the bench on the way out, but we'll get through it. Round 14. Modbury versus Salisbury. Modbury 79, Salisbury 71. So a good game there.
Absolutely. That was the Friday night game that was obviously televised by the NBA. I didn't get a chance to get down there. Work at the moment just sort of caught me up a little bit.
Fair enough.
Didn't get a chance to go.
So we had Dory playing old Roscoe McConnell. Dory 13, Roscoe 23. So a big win for Roscoe.
And Roscoe's had a pretty good year.
Pretty good year. Yeah. He looks after his body pretty well, though. He's an athlete. So
he's a finely tuned athlete.
Oh, he sure is. Adelaide 73 versus Somerton, which I tipped.
Yes.
You changed.
Oh, I did.
78.
I was thinking Adelaide, but then Somerton was probably my tip in the end.
Rinks all pretty close. John O'Voigt was the biggest losing rink, was 16 to Josh Studham 21. So that's about all we could pick out of that. The rest were only 1 and 2 shots. Absolutely. Hawthorn versus West Lakes, another good game.
This was an interesting game for ladder positions and maybe giving West Lakes an opportunity to potentially make the 4. Look, they're still not out of it, but losing to Hawthorn makes it just that little bit harder.
That's for sure. I don't think it'll change.
No.
Alex Comrie.
Yep, Gibo.
23 to Isaac Trenorden, another on the end of another one.
Yes.
12, so big win there.
And I think that was a last-minute change because I think Alex was named 2 in Matty Northcott's rink.
Oh, okay.
And then for some reason something changed around. I didn't sort of see the teams fully before it changed and looked at the results. And then Alex went up to skip and then he had a huge win. So it was very well done.
Yeah. Grange 64 versus Holdfast 81.
Holdfast really needed that win, didn't they?
I tipped Grange.
Yes.
Mark Evans 10. Jared Goodwin, Goody.
Yes.
Skipping 25, so a big win to Goody.
I think Goody listens to the podcast, so shout out there, mate.
Well, there you go. Bit of form.
Absolutely.
Rare form, Goody. Lockley 72, Ascot 84.
Yes.
You'll be able to tell us a little bit more.
I will.
Theo Katsivas 17 to Sam Dietrich 30.
That rink included an 8.
An 8?
8? 2 weeks in a row.
Are we allowed to mention that?
We are allowed to mention it this week.
Good on you, Sammy and the boys.
That was at a pretty crucial time, actually.
Okay.
Lockley's on their home deck. Wind was swirling a little bit. Can be tricky at the best of times. We struggled to find it. They probably found it a little bit better than us, but I think as you sort of went towards the east, the rinks played a little bit more, I suppose, consistent. The more you went to the west, it was a little bit all over the place. So it is very, very tricky.
Yeah.
So, yes, that included an 8.
Wow.
So, Sammy, here we are thinking that we were in the 8 club and we've just welcomed another 4 players to it.
Exactly. There you go.
So, it's up to the other 2 rinks this week to try and get one. But, hey, that's going to be a tough ask.
And in Premier League, it's not that common.
No, you don't hear it too often. No. And I think at one stage they were holding 7 and I think Theo drew one to knock it back to about a 3 or 2. And then literally 2 ends later, it was like, oh, they just picked up an 8. It's like, oh, okay, no worries. So, look, it's just one of those days, and Sammy's in fine form at the moment too. So
absolutely. I heard he was last week.
He was indeed. Don't know whether that's all been resolved, but we'll let that one go.
Okay,
We'll talk about it later.
We'll get out of that.
Should we talk about the ladder?
We'll go to the ladder.
Before we go on to this week's game. Sorry.
Yep. 13-1 Somerton, Ascot 10-4, Adelaide 9-5, and Hawthorn 9-5. And as I think we said last week, I don't think it'll change. No. So
surprise packets there. Modbury climbing up the ladder. They've had a pretty good start to 2025. I suppose that's probably the best way of putting it, 24-25. But since they've come back from the new year,
and probably Salisbury just dropped off a little bit.
Correct, so, which is sort of where we thought they might be at. And now that puts them in a bit of a delicate position. Looking at points, you're looking at Hawthorn on top 4, 134. Then it drops to 108. So I'm sort of in agreement with you that that's probably it now for the top 4. But then you go down and you got Grange on 100, Westlake's 97, Salisbury 81, Holdfast 75, and Lockley's 48. Lockley's is probably the only one that won't go.
Gone.
But you've got Westlake, Salisbury, Holdfast, and do I dare say it, Grange with some of the matches coming up. Could be in a little bit of trouble as well.
And they got this week. Yeah, I haven't tipped them this week,
no,
actually.
Neither have I. But let's get on to this week's games, mate.
Okay, let's get into them. First game is Westlakes versus Grange at Westlakes. Westlakes for me.
Westlakes for me as well. Yep. This is the Friday night game, televised through NBA Facebook page. I think that's all up and running, but it's definitely on the YouTube channel. So if you're not doing anything Valentine's Day, you're not taking the missus out for dinner or wining and dining her, you'll be busy. If you're not watching the Westlakes Grange match, that should be very interesting as well down at Westlakes.
Could go anyway.
Absolutely.
Ascot versus match of the round. Ascot.
You think this one's the match of the round?
I think it is. I think it is. Ascot versus Adelaide.
I'm going to go Ascot.
I'll go Adelaide.
Okay.
I reckon Adelaide.
No Blackie and no Kate.
Now you tell me. Blackie's a big out.
Yes.
Kate, I mean, she's handy.
Yes.
No, look, I'll stick with I won't change.
Nope.
It's terrible to change your tips, so I won't.
There you go. It's going to be an interesting day. 22, 23 degrees,
nice.
so it should be absolutely beautiful.
Salisbury versus Lockleys. Big game.
This is a big game, and I sort of put this as my game of the round because of the ramifications for Salisbury if they don't get up. I've got a sneaky feeling that Lockleys are actually going to win here.
Going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going Salisbury.
Yep.
Graham Saw will be very happy to hear me say that.
Yep.
Because he bagged me the other week when I didn't tip him. So
he's probably going to be after me at some stage there as well.
Yeah, I'll go Salisbury.
Just
there.
Lockleys the last couple of weeks. All right. Yes, they played Somerton. They played against us. They were plucky and I think that can cause some trouble with some teams like a Salisbury, a Modbury, a Grange coming up. If that's the way it goes, but. I'm gonna stick with Lockleys. I reckon they've got nothing to lose at the moment, and they're playing that way as well.
Okay, we've got the next game: Modbury versus Holdie.
Again, probably in that same boat, isn't it? The ramifications for a loss to Holdfast puts them right back in that precarious position.
Modbury probably just safe, but it's certainly Holdie. It's a do or die again for them.
Yep, and they'll fancy themselves, but playing at Modbury.
I'm going Modbury.
We played there a couple of weeks ago, and again, just those little bit of home ground conditions make a big, big difference. I'm going to go Modbury as well.
Okay, and the last game in the Premier League this week will be Somerton versus Hawthorn. Oh, actually, that could be the game of the round.
Well, there's, again, ramifications as for Hawthorn here. They want to try and stick and potentially get that third spot away from Adelaide. So they'd be hoping for us to beat Adelaide and for them to take on Somerton. I did have a little look at the teams. It looks like Josh Studham's out this weekend for Somerton.
Oh.
They are a class act and a great outfit, Somerton, and I can't go past Somerton this week.
No, I can't either. Somerton for me, they've got pretty good depth. Their twos are pretty strong, so
absolutely.
Somerton for me.
All right, let's take a quick look at the player ladder. We haven't done this so far, but we're 13 rounds in, and I've just got it up here in front of me. Cooper Hocking From the Adelaide Bowling Club,
Okay.
sitting at number 1 there. Scotty Tholburn sitting at number 2 there. Patrick Impag.
Oh, yeah.
I-
Alphabet.
Again,
Impagnido or
apologies.
something.
That's
Yep,
the one.
Yep.
Apologies for mispronunciation there. And Matty Northcott, obviously
Had a
at
good
number
year.
4, and Josh Studham at number 5. So, good little mix, a good little
Yeah.
eclectic mix there of players. Obviously, Scotty skipping, Matty skipping, Josh skipping. So,
Yep.
you know, these guys are finishing off some good work from the lead, the
Yep.
2 and the 3s as well. So, well done to those guys. All right, let's move on to Division 1.
Division 1, round 14.
Yes.
The first game was Somerton versus Woodville. Obviously tipped Somerton.
So did I,
Yep.
yes.
Pardon me. Jason Hallows, 23 to Sam Marafiotti, 15.
Yes.
So a big win there. Toorak, the next game, I tipped Toorak.
You did, and I stuck with Paynham
Yes.
thinking that they might just
No, not
cause an
not
upset,
Toorak.
maybe, but Toorak were the ones
yeah,
that caused the
Toorak
upset.
100, Paynham 82. So we had Josh Bradley, 27, played Candice Rayson, 16. So it was the biggest winning rink there.
Yep.
Modbury, good game here. Modbury 73 versus Henley. I reckon I tipped Modbury at home.
I reckon I did as well, thinking that it was going to be a tight tussle, and that's how it turned out.
But Johnny Cooper from Modbury was the biggest winning rink, even
Yep.
though he was in. Oh no, he was. Oh no, he was in the losing side. Yep, 24 to Neil Miller 12.
Yep.
So good win there for John.
Henley, Modbury have got some experienced players
Yeah.
in that second
Yep.
side at the moment, and they're really promoting their youth, which we talked about a little bit last week and the week before. So, you know, I'd expect them to be around the mark once the real serious stuff gets rolling, and some of those experienced players will be able to hold them in good stead.
Norb Kratz in experience or youth?
A bit of both, I reckon. And
Some of the jokes he sends me, I'll tell you what. Oh.
and obviously Jose Gil there,
Yeah, that's
obviously
right. They've
playing
left
as
him
well.
obviously
So
there to strengthen that second side.
exactly right. So good match. All right, now this was the match of the round, and like we said,
was.
we congratulate Port Noarlunga and Marion
We-
for changing their
Yeah.
time a little bit to be able to
I
cater to
forgot
the
about
members.
that. Went looking for the score and
It wasn't
Oh,
there
still
for a while.
playing, yeah.
Absolutely, but Port Noarlunga,
Port Noarlunga got the chocolates. 104 to Marion, 77. So that's a big win.
that is a big win.
Who did we have? Brad Napper, 30 over Phil Ryan, who's we've mentioned plenty times this week on the winning side.
Yes.
8. So he got touched up on the down there at Port Noarlunga.
It's a
Probably a bit breezy down there.
Possibly, and obviously home ground. Everyone's come back after the
Yeah.
game. They made an event of it.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind actually touching base with Port Noarlunga to see how many people they got there, but I reckon
Yeah.
they would have got 50, 60 quite easily there, and that's intimidating for an opposition team to come to, even though
Yep.
Marion have been flying all year.
Oh, absolutely. Dominating.
Absolutely. All right, and then we move on. Millswood.
Millswood. A bit better game here. Millswood 98, Tremere 72. Was at Millswood. Andrew Gard 27 to Peter Marshall 12. Was talking to Pete Sunday night at the Challenge Cup game,
Yep.
and he said he's very impressed with the Millswood young side, up and about. He
Yep.
said real good future, and I
absolutely.
said, yeah, I've seen that, on the green.
And 4 or 5 years ago, they were
Yeah.
Div 4, Div 5, Div 6, and each year they've basically earned their promotion and now have put themselves in a pretty good
Night
position.
Owlers is doing it for them, and they're good bar takings, which they all enjoy it.
Exactly
so
right.
good on them.
All right, let's talk the ladder.
The ladder,
Marion with their first loss.
13-1.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
And on the same weekend, we had Marion with their first loss and Toorak with their first win.
Yes, we did. Port Noarlunga 12-2.
Yes.
Millswood 10-4, and Somerton 9-4.
I think that'll be your top 4.
That'll be it, I think. So a couple of good games this week too in the round 15.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at them now,
The
and then we'll have
first
a look
one.
at the player ladder as well
Okay.
afterwards. All right.
No worries. Marion versus Somerton.
Marion for me, but I think it's going to be a good tight tussle once
Yeah,
again.
Marion for me. Tranmere versus Port Noarlunga at Tranmere.
It's a long trip, but I tip Port Noarlunga.
Port Noarlunga for me. Millswood versus Henley.
Millswood for me.
Millswood for me. Woodville versus Toorak.
Ooh, is the tail up after winning last week? Woodville for me.
Toorak for me.
Hey.
2 in a row for Toorak.
Yep.
I better tip them. We share their clubhouse now.
Yeah,
at the moment,
fair enough.
Payneham versus Modbury. Next door here.
I'm going to go Modbury.
Modbury for me. Just can't tip them at the moment.
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
All right, let's look at the player ladder. Yes, for Division 1. No surprises for your top 5, all from Marion. Kenny Holtham.
Top.
The Master at number 1 there. Jason McCauley at 2. Jerry Clark at 3. And Aldo Raponi, which I believe, just off the top of my head without looking at the teams, I reckon that is Kenny's rink. So
okay.
That'd be why they're 12 and 2 basically. You have to go down to number 9 for Kirralie Moffat from Port Noarlunga. So, yeah, it's really basically being shared between Marion and Port Noarlunga, and that's where it's at, isn't it?
Yep. And as I said to you, I think it was last week, Pete, when they hadn't been beaten, I think it was the top 15 were Marion.
That's right.
And I had never seen that. I think they had the top 16 there for a while, but anyway, they've lost a game, and that puts the cat amongst the pigeons a bit more.
Do you think, I was going to save this to after, but I might as well ask it now. Yep. Losing a game when you are sort of dominant, is it a good thing to sharpen you up a little bit?
I think so.
Yeah.
It won't hurt them.
Yep. And is it good to get it out of the way now rather than...
Grand final day.
Well, either grand final day or, say, a week before the
I
finals.
think.
You lose the last round when you've been dominant all season, and all of a sudden you go in with those doubts into a final. So you think it's good just to get it out of the way now?
Think so.
I'm not saying that anybody's throwing games or anything like that, but it does sharpen you up a little bit, doesn't it?
And I'm sure in their talk this week it'll be, right, we're back to square one, here we go,
Exactly
start again.
Right.
So time will tell.
Keep your eye on the prize and go from there. All right, mate, let's have a look at the hot shots for today.
He likes it.
Oh, he's talking to it. It's going to find the gap here. And it... Oh, yeah, okay.
We hadn't won a singles rubber as yet.
Yep.
But he's doing quite well tonight.
I'll tell you what, he is. He's in the box seat over there. They sure do. They've got plenty of talent.
It's a good bowl here. Good bowl, Tony Devlin. Good bowl.
That's fantastic. He's been the star so far.
Very close, very close.
Ooh. Push it through. What's the result going to be there?
Yes, he's pushed it through far enough.
All right, mate, everybody's favourite time of the day or night. It is the Barossa Light review. Round the regions.
Round 19.
Fire away, mate.
Pete, couple to go after this week, 20 and 21.
Yep.
Yadunda played Tanunda. Yadunda in a bit of a slump. They've been the second half of the season. 83, easily defeated Tanunda 61.
Yep.
Tate Rogers 28, defeated Neil Stewart 9. So big win there for Tate. Kapunda played Mount Pleasant, who are second to bottom. Kapunda 98, defeated Mount Pleasant 58.
Yes.
We've had Brian Grant, the ex-pres over there, 38, to Brendan Tahini, the old neighbour of mine at Mount Pleasant, 15.
Cat Green wasn't on the...
No greens mentioned this week.
The last 3 or 4 weeks it's been Green Central.
It's been a green.
Absolutely.
Green machine. Freeling, 68 versus Anguston, 102. Obviously, Anguston back in the mix, sitting top. Alex Bryan, 15 to Justin Morris, 28. So a big win there to Justin.
Absolutely.
Newry, 69. This was the match of the round. Tipped Newry. Newry 69 defeated Linddock 60. Robbie Grope, 18 to Harry Sykes, who we've spoken of very much this year as a winner. 9. So a big win there to Gropes. Played on the artificial. They found it a bit tricky, Linddock. I talked to a couple of the boys, and a little bit tricky. They reckon get them on the even deck and look out.
Okay.
So that's not my words,
Hey,
that's theirs.
and it's not the first time that someone will say that a synthetic deck or a carpeted deck just wreaks havoc with you a little bit, so it's understandable.
So we got Anguston sitting top, 15-4. They've got a bit of a lead now. Newry 13-6, Lyndoch 13-6, and Kapunda 13-6. So very tight there for second, third, and fourth. So this week's matches we'll have a look at. Lyndoch versus Anguston, a good match.
I'm going to go Anguston. I think they're
Anguston for me.
hitting form at the right time, aren't they?
It's at Lyndoch,
Yep.
but at the new footy ground there.
Yes.
Tanunda versus Newry at Tanunda.
Tanunda. No, sorry, Newry.
Ooh, he saw my face then.
No, it's
Newry.
all right. I had a mental blank then. I was thinking about the mayor and how he's in fine form at the moment.
He is.
Absolutely. No, Newry for me.
Yep. Okay, Mount Pleasant versus Udunda. A good game over on the carpet at Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
so
Udunda for me.
long trip for Udunda. Yeah,
Yep.
Udunda for me.
Yep.
And the Battle of the Lights out there, it's the light area. Freeling versus Kapunda on the greens of Freeling.
Ooh, I'm going to go Kapunda.
Kapunda for me.
Absolutely.
I'll just quickly do a bit of a roundup on the Country Carnival.
Yes,
Pete,
mate,
while
I'm
I've got
glad
it here.
you have brought this up tonight.
So we got the singles winner was Mark Wrigley from Streaky Bay.
Yes.
He beat Jaron Jenke from Berry 12-21, 21-12. He beat him.
Not to put the Mozza on Berry, but, they played in the BPL Cup and came runner-up, and Jaron's got all the way through to the final here and come runner-up again. I think he's sick of silver. He wants to see some gold.
Well, he's done a good job getting there, so it's a big week,
It is a big week
to get to that. So in the fours, we had Jeff Brand, Todd Brand, Scott Brand, Brett Murdoch. It
Right.
was all Brand.
Yes.
They won the fours, beating the Newry boys.
Yep.
Jeff Langley was a sub for, I think it's Brenton Valenti.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff came in. I think he played the semi as well.
Yep.
Semi. Nigel Rookie, Gary Chapman, and Brenton Brown, and the boys, the Brand boys and the Murdoch were 18-9 was the score there.
Absolutely. Good tight tussle there.
Yeah. And then Todd Brand, he backed it up with a Simon Gita Johnson.
Yes.
In the pairs. They played B. Hines. Sorry, I don't know I only had the initials.
Cadena and
Berry, I
yes.
think it is. And D. Bushel for Berry.
Yes.
Oh, runners up again.
Yep.
19-13 was the score there in the pairs. So that's the Country Carnival, and they're still playing the round robin. Zone 4, I had a quick look tonight before I came.
Yep.
They're sitting about midfield. I think it's York Peninsula, I think. You might have that in front of you there, Pete. I'm not too sure. You don't
have that one in front of me.
I'm pretty sure it's Yorks are up near the top.
Yes.
And I think it's the Hills mob, the East, and I reckon they're down the bottom with Mansell, and they've got quite a good, good side down there. But they're just sort of finding it out. It's a good comp.
Absolutely.
Down at Marion.
Something I think we should be trying to introduce into the city, really.
Yeah. We said that week before.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
It's quite a good concept.
These things, I think, could work. But look, it's time, and I know there's a bit of effort that needs to go on behind the scenes. But the Country Carnival and the country people love their bowls, and for good reason. They play on some.
And 43 yesterday, whatever it was, at Marion. They only played in the morning, one game in the morning, shortened game.
Yep.
I think they're done by about lunchtime, but
it's a big event. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done to all involved. All right, mate. We better take a very, very quick break, and when we come back, we might talk. We might actually just go straight into the extra ends. But we'll put the state events and some bits and pieces there as well.
Liking this podcast? Please like, rate, and subscribe.